So as we continue to cover all things college football recruiting, it's come to my attention that I may need to start a new segment called the Hidden Gem segment, because here over the past few weeks, there have been several prospects that I feel like fit into that category, being a hidden gem. And in my opinion, a hidden gem is a prospect that ranks as a 3-star, but when you turn on the film, you instantly ask the question, how are you not rated higher? And today, we need to talk about another addition to the hidden gem list as the Texas Longhorns get a massive win for a 3-star tight end out the state of Texas, Jordan Washington. Today, we're going to break down why this is an addition that needs to excite Texas fans. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited that Washington adds himself into this 2024 recruiting class for the Longhorns? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions seem small. They are massive to content creators such as myself. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. First and foremost, who is Jordan Washington? Well, Jordan Washington stands 6'4", 225 pounds, and comes as the number 468 player in the nation, regardless of position. And as I stated in the intro, he plays his high school football in the state of Texas in Houston for Langham Creek High School. First things first, whenever you turn on the film, you are going to instantly ask the question, how are you not rated higher? And it's easy to see why. This is a very athletically gifted prospect, and the thing that really stood out to me, aside from his skills as a wide receiver, which we will break down, his willingness to block. These guys that play tight end in high school, a lot of them, they're great wide receiver types, but when they get to the next level, they have absolutely got to learn how to block. It's totally different blocking a guy in high school as a tight end than blocking an edge, a linebacker at the next level as a tight end. It's a totally different thing that's been asked of you. But the fact that Jordan Washington is a willing blocker, I find to be a compelling factor. I think that's awesome, and I think Sark and company had to love that about him. The fact that you can point to multiple times in his film where he's included pieces of film of him blocking. He takes pride in it. You're going to be asked to do it at the next level, so take pride in what you do, and it's evident he does. And little things like that will help these guys see the field earlier. It's why whenever we talked about Jordan Johnson-Rubel, the safety that Texas got, I loved his ability to understand when he needed to be a headhunter and when a form tackle was necessary. These little factors like that can be the difference in a guy seeing the field earlier as opposed to having to sit and develop and learn. However, another thing I love about Jordan Washington, in my opinion, it's very clear you have a guy that still has a lot of growth to do as a football player. And the fact that he's this good already and still has a lot of growth, that's exciting for Texas fans. That means this is a guy that the coaching staff identified as someone they could bring in, coach up, develop, and be able to turn him into an utter mismatch on the offensive side of the ball. First and foremost, if Steve Sarkisian's the offensive mind calling the plays, I'm very excited to see what any offensive weapon will do in that system. But secondly, I think for those of you that have been around the channel, you know how much I value the tight end position. And we talked about Washington's willingness to block, but what does he offer in the actual receiving game? There is where I think Texas fans are going to be very excited. There are multiple clips of him pretty much while doing it all. Running goes, running slants, running drags, you can find it all, and he excels at it all. He has the ability to high point a football at 6'4", 225 pounds. He understands how to utilize his physicality to box out defenders, and if none of that's necessary, he'll just straight up outrun you. So this is a guy that I think Texas fans need to be very excited they add in. And so what does this mean for the Longhorns recruiting class as a whole? Well, it gives them 12 prospects and ranks them as the number 28 recruiting class in the nation. And I've said this multiple times, I think this is a great place to be. You have plenty of room left in your class and you're in striking distance. Now, I understand if there are those in the Texas fan base that would wish they were a top 15 recruiting class right now. I think that's fair, and I think every school in the nation probably wishes they were a top 15 recruiting class right now. But I have been adamant in stating there is nothing to worry about, not only for Texas, but for any school out there because it's so early in the recruiting process. July notoriously gives us fireworks. And if we're talking specifically about Texas, they have nothing but time, opportunity, and plenty of room in front of them. I mean, if we're to assume that Texas is going to take 25 prospects in this class, they're not even halfway done, and they sit as a top 30 recruiting class in the nation, and some of their bigger battles are still being decided, and they've laid a really solid foundation. So if you're Texas, you have got to be very excited, not only for this addition, but for what the future will hold in the recruiting department, and you already know, we'll be here to cover it all. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.